Hello and good morning to you, our dear viewers. Welcome and welcome back to Times and Seasons, a time of healing and transformation. And as you know, here on Times and Seasons, we get to get exclusive stories, exclusive conversations right here with Bishop Peter Ndungu, where we get to know him deeper, know him away from the pulpit. You know, on Sundays, we see him on the pulpit, but here now, every Friday morning, we get to know who really is the man and what are his challenges? What has he faced in life? What has actually made who he is today? And definitely today is Good Friday. We are hoping that you are enjoying your Easter season. It's a time for us as Christians to reflect on the death and resurrection of our Savior, Jesus Christ. Once again, welcome to you, our viewers, and welcome, Bishop.
Thank you, Juliet.
Yes, how are you doing this morning? Good to have you.
I'm thinking about the season.
Yes.
Easter season. I think for Christians, I would say, I know you celebrate Christmas a lot, but I think this is the most important.
That's true.
Because it's when Jesus gave his life. He literally laid down his life for us.
Yeah.
He died, Friday, and Sunday morning he rose again.
Yeah.
So for believers, it's a very important season, and even for non-believers to think about their relationship with God. Where are you? Because, believing in death and resurrection of Jesus or not believing, it actually determines your eternity. So it's a very serious season. It also determines even how you live this life, because I have come to realize the way we handle this life, it doesn't matter how long, whether you live 70 or 80 or 100, it all depends on how you view your perspective about eternity. Those who believe there is life after this, there's the way they conduct their life. Those who don't believe, there's the way they conduct. So for me, this is a very important season, and I want to send Easter greetings and I wish all our viewers and all our friends out there a very wonderful Easter season, and I pray that it will be a time to reflect, to think deeply about your relationship with Christ. So it's a wonderful season.
It is beautiful. Yes, you had it, and we love the engagement. People are enjoying your conversations. People are enjoying to get to know you. It feels like you're just sitting down with you now over just a cup of warm tea, warm coffee. Okay, now tell us about your life. And last week you were telling us about we're still trying to, get to understand more about your childhood, how you grew up and everything. And now we are now at the stage where now you're a young man. You're still finding your identity, getting to know who you are and everything, grappling like a lot of questions, on identity, which most young people, when they're in their early, maybe about 17, 18 years, these are the questions that one has. And so now we left people hanging. And I just like us probably you can conclude the story for us, because you told us that you used to admire people who are older than you. You get, some counsel there, some ideas of how life is for them. So while still at the village in Mariaine, there was just like a spot. I can even picture it. Young men, young ladies probably just go somewhere, talk together rather. And so someone was about to take you to Bungoma in the western parts of Kenya.
You still remember that?
I still remember to every detail.
Wow.
What actually surprised me here is you are earning 120 shillings a month.
Wow.
A month.
Hard to believe, Yeah, I was struggling a little bit in school.
Yeah.
And so, boys will be boys.
Yeah.
And of course, when growing up, you have these ambitions, you get into some company, that advise you otherwise. While you're struggling in school, there's a better life out here. You can make some money. So somebody told me, well, I have an opportunity for you. And this time, maybe I'm in class 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And they said, I can take you. He was working with the Kenya police, and he said, I'll take you. I have found a place. They have a small restaurant. In Kenya, small restaurants used to, call them hotel.
Hotels, yes.
I know when people come from the Western world and they see hotel, they think they're talking of Hilton or those big hotels. So, he said, I have a friend who runs a small restaurant, and they're looking for somebody who can go work there, make some mandazi and, chapati or, all that.
Yeah.
Chips and all that. So I thought, well, this is a good opportunity. Why struggle with the school?
School.
Well, I can make some money.
Yeah.
And he said, how much? I asked him how much he's gonna be paying me. And he said you'll be getting 120 shillings per month.
Yeah.
Wow. For me, I thought, and they'll give you a room, just next to the restaurant in the place, just a place you can put your mattress and sleep even on the floor. So for me, I did my maths quickly, and I thought, well, that would be enough. Of course, thinking I'm working in a restaurant, so I'll be eating there. So my money, and they have given me a room somewhere. So the rest of the money is mine.
Yeah.
I'll just enjoy and buy whatever I want. So, but for sure, it wasn't the right decision. It was totally off. And of course, nobody knew, my parents or anybody. I didn't tell anybody. And then we agreed that we were going to meet somewhere at the stage. He was to come from Muranga and pick me at the stage, there, a place called Karogia, and then we would go. So for me, I packed my clothes in a carton box, because I don't even have a suitcase or a bag or anything. Put them in a in a carton, tie with a size or string, and then off very early in the morning. He had told me he would come very early, around 7. So by 6:30, I was there. Those days we didn't have phones, the mobile phones and all that. So I waited. Every vehicle that was coming in or from Muranga, Matatus, I would check. Is he there? Of course, I didn't even have breakfast. I was so excited. That night I didn't sleep. I'm so excited.
You're going to Bungoma.
I have no clue where Bungoma is. I know it's a place in Kenya, Western Kenya, but I have no idea where that is. And I think apparently I've never been to Bungoma.
Or to date?
Even to now. Even to date. Maybe one day I'll go and see that restaurant.
Yeah, probably should.
Wow. So every vehicle I'm checking. 6:30, 7:30, 8:30. Where is this man? What's happening? 10 o'clock. There's no way to communicate. For me, I would assume maybe he got caught up, he got late or something. And I was there at the stage literally the whole day. No money for lunch, nothing, just there with me. Of course, people will be asking, where are you going? And of course, you cook a story here and there. I'm going somewhere, I'm waiting for somebody or whatever. And I was there the whole day. Apparently, he didn't come.
He didn't show.
And I was there until evening.
Wow.
And so I went back home very frustrated, thinking I have lost my only opportunity to get a job. And for me, thinking, working in a restaurant, especially those at that age, mandazis were very, scarce.
Yeah.
So if you find a place where you'll be eating mandazis every day,
it's a joy.
Goodness, wow, you can work for free.
Yeah, wow.
You can work for free. So for me, thinking I'll be somewhere in a restaurant where they are making mandazis and have them, you can eat as many of us. You're thinking as a young boy.
Yeah.
But apparently my friend didn't come. Went back home, put back my clothes. I'm very disappointed.
Nobody noticed you had left the box and now you're back with it.
Of course, you know how to maneuver. Nobody will tell where you have been away or what was going on.
Yeah.
And then he came a week after, the next weekend, And I talked to him and what happened? We were to meet and he said, I forgot.
Oh my, come on, really? This one is just
that tells you he wasn't serious.
He was not serious.
But for me, I was serious.
Yeah, you took it seriously.
That tells you sometimes what you tell young people.
That's true.
Be careful.
That's
because true. They may take you so serious,
yeah.
and maybe you are not even serious. So for him, he said, I forgot about it. I got busy, work, what, travel. And I forgot about it.
You've planned your whole life. You've packed everything.
But I still see the hand of God in it.
That's
that
true.
If I went to Bungoma that time, I think that would have messed my life.
That's
because
true.
Definitely I would not have continued with school.
Yeah.
Maybe get lost there, find other funny things to do there, get into drinking and all those kind of things. And, that would have messed my entire life. So still, I believe God was, still in it. Maybe he made him forget or something. So, because I believe even before, as the Bible says, before we knew him, he first, knew us. So, I mean, it's not like God knows you when you now get converted and you become a Christian. Even before then, he still saw this man, this woman. I have a plan for them.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm thankful today looking back. For that time, I was very disappointed the whole week. But today, I'm thankful that it didn't work out.
Yeah.
So I think some of those decisions that young people make and they can totally affect your life.
Yeah.
Because the decisions you make today, I think the lesson from that is that don't just jump into everything you hear, you get into in the name of making money.
Yeah.
Yes, you want to make some money, but again, there are priorities. If you're in school, go ahead and finish. If you're pursuing your career, pursue that.
Yeah.
Money will come later.
Yeah. And that's a very good lesson, actually.
Yeah.
And I'll just use that and segue into a question I'd like to ask, because now, of course, now we know who you are today and you are a serial businessman, if I can say that. And I can see where it's coming from. I can see how you're a go-getter, even from a young man. You're like, you'll go for adventures. You're not afraid to take the next step and to, just take risks. And so my question here is just like, you've told us about how growing up there was scarcity and things were not enough, rather, as much as you said you were 8 children going to school, barefooted and everything. But there's this desire that we can see that you still know, mbele iko sawa. Literally, like, that the future is bright. There's something in you that is not killing that dream.
Yeah.
So how come your background and whatever it is that is going on at home is not limiting your dreams, your thinking, and especially as far as money is concerned, even looking for money and
I think it's what drives you. Every car is driven by something, either petrol. Right now we are having shortage.
Yes, my goodness.
or diesel. Today they have electric cars.
Yeah.
The other day I was in China and I saw, wow, China, like half of the cars is electric.
Yeah.
That's the way the world is going. So they kind of, we can do without fuel.
Yes.
I hear in Japan they're exploring now to have cars that are using water.
Oh,
There's a system that they're trying to come up with. So I think I'll be happy to get that kind of a car.
I know.
You just use water.
Water is readily available.
I don't know whether steam or something. So I think there's that inner drive in every human being that tells you things will get better. Yeah. You can become, you can make it, you can conquer this. I think that inner drive and looking at my earlier life and where I've come from, I would point out a few things that made me to be the person I am today. Of course, one is what I'm talking about, that inner drive.
Yeah.
That not ignoring what is deep within you.
Yeah.
If you have that inner drive, what happens is that at the age of 17, 20, 25, most of the young people have a drive. They are very passionate about something.
Yeah.
They feel, yes, I want to do this, I want to pursue this. But somehow maybe between 25 and 30, a lot of people lose their dream. they lose their focus.
Yeah.
They lose the drive. It's like driving a car with an empty tank. It will not go anywhere.
Yeah.
So the fuel is not there. They start thinking, maybe it was just a nice thought or a nice dream. Maybe I was not made or meant for this.
Yeah.
So they stop fighting for what they believe they were made for, and where they should be and where they should be going, and then they give up and they quit. But for me, I sensed quite early that there was some deep within me that desire.
Yeah.
Just to make a difference in a small way, because it has to start in a small way.
Yeah.
I think I shared the other time where, even from my pocket money in high school, I would save some money and share with two poor old ladies who are, one of them was totally blind.
Yeah.
And they would really be happy, to just to give them a kilo of wheat or flour or something. And that drive for me, that was making me so happy. And that is what has grown now, even to what I am doing today, in the area of supporting the needy, the weak, the poor, the vulnerable, and all that, and running even a children's home. So, but you see, it started as a seed, because life is about, it's a seed. There's always a seed for everything.
Yeah.
Most of us are looking for the fruit, but you don't get the fruit without first, planting that seed. So God puts in us a seed. So I realize in me there is a seed of greatness, just like in every human being. There's that seed of greatness, but many times we ignore it and all that. Of course, number two, I would say the people you surround yourself with, because in the midst of counsel and support and help and wisdom. I mean, there's a lot of wisdom when you have counsel, when you have support, when you have people around you. So I also kind of desired to walk with the people that I can receive counsel from, people that can give me some wisdom. And I think from when I was young, in my early 20s, I would, surround myself, talk to people, look for people. And I think one of the mistakes young people make is where you only want to walk with the people of your age.
Yeah.
And the only wisdom they can give you is what they have.
Oh, yeah.
But I desired to listen to older people. I would go to somebody in their 60s, in their 50s, and, just talk to them, ask questions, interact with them, not feeling intimidated, and they don't need to be rich or have money, just listening to their stories.
Yeah.
And where they have come from, how they survived that, how they survived their situation, how they almost died, how, all those kind of stories. And I think they built my ability to endure, to see, wow, when you see that man today, that's where they are coming from. When you see that person today, that's where they are coming from. So I think surrounding yourself also, with the right people, is critical. Number three, I would say is when I gave my life to Christ as a young man, about 17, 18, that's also changed my life in a great deal, because my life's perspective changed. So I started now formulating everything and my perspective and my the way I look at life through the Word of God. So I started reading the Bible, studying the Word of God. Even in terms of, because the Bible has everything, whether it's about money, it's about business, it's about wealth, management, time management, and all that. So I learned, wow, this is not, because for most people they believe Bible is just about stories and about going to heaven. Somebody who was healed here and there, eyes were open. They think Bible is just about those stories, but they are very key, important principles in the Bible that if you practice them, and apparently they also practice even outside the Christian world. You find, corporates or banks, they actually practice some of the principles of leadership in the Bible. And they may not say this is from the Bible, but they're practicing that. So
true.
I began to seek after that, attending meetings, camps. I didn't have money. Sometimes I would looking for help, from my family and all that.
Yeah.
I want to go to Kiambu. I want to go to Thika. I want to go to Kangema. I want to attend this camp or this meeting.
Yeah.
I remember 91, I attended a very big conference in Nairobi by the late Molly Saruro. And I learned some principles about finances. I remember there was a preacher there, one of the teachers, his name was John Price. That was way back in 91. And he came there and taught about financial, kingdom finances and about how to manage your finances, about tithing, about giving, about all that.
Yeah.
And these are things I was learning. Then I'll get those tapes, those days we used to have the cassettes.
Yes.
I would go, I didn't even have money to buy cassettes. So some of the teachers we had, because my salary was very low, I couldn't afford, they bought. So I would go and, borrow from them, then dab them. We used to call them dabbing.
Yes.
You transfer everything to some of the old cassettes, and then I would listen and listen and listen to those messages. So they were forming my worldview, even about business. So even when I came to do business, when I left police in 95, I was doing some small business in Gikomba, in Kikuyu. I still knew, there's a place I'm going. And of course, business requires, discipline, commitment, dedication, and much more.
Yeah.
So I'll say, well, making money, wealth, creation is a journey.
Yes.
It's not a destination. And I'm still in that journey.
You're still in the journey. Beautiful. Wow. I'm just I'm just intrigued at how you're mentioning years randomly, 91, 95, but atufiki where I'm born. I'm like, how young am I?
Well,
this is so interesting, but something that
for me,
you
91
said
is just like the other day.
the other day, I was not even born yet.
My goodness.
You have said something very profound.
Okay.
When you speak of how you used to dub those tapes and, the repetition, just keep on listening to this thing, forming your worldview. Today we live at a time and in an age where we are listening too much. We are watching everything. I was just reading a quote the other day saying we do not know silence anymore. You're driving as you're listening to probably music or a podcast or a preaching. Even when you're cooking, you listen. You have no time where you're silent, but it really matters. What are you listening to? And I feel like that's something that even us as young people ought to be challenged on. It's like, what am I interacting with when I go online? Because we're always on our phones, on our tablets. There's just a screen. Somehow, there's just a screen I'm interacting with. So that's actually very challenging for us as young people, because I'm just like, at this time and at that age, you seemed like things were limited. But for you as an individual, as a young man, there was no limits. Eliud Kipchoge said no human is limited. And I can see how that has helped you to date. And I love that. So even as we are just about to go for the break, I love how you brought out the company. The people who you're hanging around with and working with. And actually for me, I envy people who used to sit, how kitambo people used to sit at like a fire with old shoshos and gukas and get those lessons. For me, I didn't get to enjoy that. But I envy people who got to enjoy, because it looks like you pick a lot of wisdom from that, which is so beautiful.
And that's what we are bringing even right now.
Yes.
Today we may not have the fireplace.
Firewood.
But this is our fireplace.
That's true. Yeah, it's our fireplace. Bringing
for the young
fire
people that are listening and mentioning the media, and of course we can't ignore those other days we are in. I mean, I know there are people who want to say, they want to trash media and say it's bad. Social media is evil, it's demonic, it's what. No, that's not my perspective. Because even what we are doing right now, whoever is listening is through media. So media is a medium of reaching out to masses and so many other people that we can speak here, and we reach thousands within a very short time. So I think it's the way we handle it. It's also, do we have discipline? And like you're saying, when you talk of company today, there are people who are kind of alone, but they are not alone. Because you can be in your room there, you may think you are alone, but you have so many people that you have pulled into your room. You may have all the doors locked and windows, but the phone, your tablet, your computer, your television, those are big doors. So you find you can be speaking and you are interacting with the people who are in Europe, in America, in Hollywood, in Africa, in Nairobi, wherever on the street. So I think we also have to be choosy. Just like we are given a very big menu today. I think the menu has grown.
Yeah.
Our menu was, kind of smaller.
Yeah.
I think today we have a very big menu.
Yeah.
Where if you go to a hotel, to a restaurant, you're given a menu with the 40 items. You're not expected to eat, go and bring everything here.
Yeah.
No. You're given a menu and then you say, I want number 15. Can you give me that?
Yeah.
Somebody else will come and pick number 20, another one pick number 10, another one pick number 1. But you can't pick everything. And I think that's where we are going wrong. We think everything on social media is mine for my consumption. Everything on TV is for my consumption. Everything people are saying on the street is for me. Even the news. I mean, not every news item is for you. I think we have to be choosy. Otherwise, you may find we are wasting all our time through social media, and it's also addictive, when you think about, X and TikTok and all those, and, WhatsApp and all. I mean, you can just find yourself the whole day just scrolling the reels, the short videos and all that. You see this one, you see this one, and they arrange them in a way,
They're very interesting. You just keep going.
Yeah, you can find 1 hour, I'll just hear 1 hour. I mean,
that's true.
And you're wasting your time. Of course, now if you are serious about life, wealth creation, you have to think about your time.
Yes.
What am I spending my precious time on? If you do that, I think you reap the harvest.
That's beautiful. That's amazing. And yeah, like you're saying, don't scroll. Don't scroll out of this particular show. We're just going to take a short break and we will be back with this amazing conversation. Be sure to send us your comments or questions on the numbers displayed on your screen. And we hope you are enjoying this conversation. See you after the short break. Welcome back, our dear viewer. As usual, this is Times and Seasons, a time of healing and transformation. And I hope you're staying put. Before the short break, we had a very interesting conversation on, wealth creation, the importance as young people to even sit in the right circles, be at the right place at the right time and make the right decisions. And we continue with that conversation. And like we said, social media is very important.
Yeah.
We have it here with us. This is a digital age, but it really matters your discipline. And like we have been told, you do not have to pick everything in that menu. You just decide on what to pick.
That's right.
Welcome back, Bishop.
Thank you.
Hope you're enjoying the conversation this far.
I'm trying.
Yeah. It's your story to tell. For us, we're enjoying it.
You talked about around the fireplace.
Yes.
And I remember one uncle of mine, he died many years ago. He was from Kangema. So one time I asked him, because he looked strong all through.
Yeah.
So he was in his 70s, 80s. He was still very strong. He had not lost any of his tooth.
Yeah.
As people grow,
yes,
the way people lose their teeth, they lose their sight, they lose this, and can't even walk upright. And this man was always like strong all the life I knew him. And so I asked him one day, how come that you're always strong? When others are saying, hey, now my teeth, I can't eat githeri, I can't eat sugar cane. For him, he was eating everything.
Wow.
Even the githeri with the tough maize.
Yeah.
And so he told me in Kikuyu, just a few words. And he said, "Okoro oreago nini."
I don't think I understood that one.
It's like he said, if I can try to translate or paraphrase, is that when you are old, you eat what you sowed when you are young.
Oh, right.
So he said, he was trying to say, I never wasted my life when I was young. Okay, he didn't get into drinking and smoking and the things that people do to hurt their lives.
Yeah.
I saw an article yesterday, I think it was on the news, about tobacco, the way they were saying in Kenya alone, we lose 12,000 people every year from tobacco.
Wow.
I mean, and I thought, wow, that's like 1,000 people every month.
Yes.
If a disaster happened in Kenya and we lose 1,000 people, God forbid, it'll be so all over the world.
Yes.
But this is a disaster where people just smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
And I remember as a young man, I had started
smoking cigarettes.
That's one of the reasons I wanted to go to Bungoma. So that I can have my own money. Because what I didn't smoke for many years, but one thing I realized about smoking was that it's very addictive. Probably more than even alcohol.
Okay.
Once you get hooked to it, it's very hard to stop. You are really, your body, your blood is really yearning for that thing.
Yes.
And those days they would bring, I don't know in the market what is there today, they were very cheap, cigarettes that didn't have the filter. They were calling them roasters.
We are learning a lot of new vocabulary here.
So they were very cheap.
Yeah.
So that's what we could afford without filter. And they say it's even more dangerous.
Yeah.
So you can imagine if I got hooked up until today, if the Lord didn't have mercy, and I'm been smoking for 40, 50 years, my goodness, it'll be another story.
Yeah.
Because that hurts your lungs, your systems. And so they were saying 1,000 people die. It's like, and they were saying it's like about 33 people every day die from just smoking.
Yeah.
So some of the things, because again, we all pray for long life. This is what my uncle was trying to say to me.
Yes.
We pray for long life, but also what do we do on our end? What is our lifestyle? Because it is like they say in computer, garbage in, garbage out. So and I've never forgotten that lesson. It was probably many years, maybe in the 80s.
Yeah.
And he told me, it's like what I did when I was young is what has helped me.
Yes.
So he had decided I would never smoke, I would never drink, I would never get into this, I would never get into drugs. I would take care of what I eat, my body and everything. So, and I learned that lesson, and you see, somebody may just be thinking, young person, and the way you get hooked to smoking, like for us, we started because we are in primary school, we don't even have money to buy cigarettes, even the roasters.
Yes.
Sometimes when you are so, you used to say you're thirsty.
I can imagine saying it in Kikuyu.
Yeah, well, there you go. So you know a bit of Kikuyu now.
Very little.
You wake up in the morning and you have no cigarette. So you go to the marketplace or the shopping area.
Yes.
You're just looking for somebody who is smoking. Just to tell them, can you give me for 2 or 3 puffs,
Wow.
So they'll give you whatever the roasters are smoking, get a few puffs.
Yeah.
Because you feel like you're having headache, you can't coordinate.
Withdrawal symptoms now.
You're now the withdrawal symptoms and all that.
Yeah.
And I remember I would sometimes wake up or in the evening before going to bed and decide I am stopping this. I don't like it. Because after people have been hooked up to smoking, they actually don't like it.
Yeah.
It's only that they are now in it.
Yes.
So I would actually wake up in the night and say, I'll never smoke again. I'll never smoke again. And then if I had a few, 2 or 3 pieces of cigarettes, and I would just go crush them and throw them away and, do it like a ritual and put all that on the door and say, I would never come into this house again with a cigarette because I'm getting frustrated. I don't have money. I need cigarettes. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
At night, I would wake up You are so thirsty.
Oh my.
Oh
my goodness.
You're wondering, what do I do? You go back where you threw everything, the ones you crashed and threw on the floor, you start picking one after the other.
To put them together.
Put them together, look for a newspaper.
What?
You roar again. You start smoking.
Start smoking all the time. Addiction is real.
It's real. When you see somebody who is addicted, you don't blame them.
That's true.
You think of how can they get help. Because there are people who are addicted to cigarettes, to alcohol, to drugs, to sex, to whatever immorality.
Yes.
And they don't know how to get out.
Yes.
But when people, what helped me is when I gave my life to Christ. And what I had struggled to quit, I would quit, come back, and you go telling people, young people, they ask you, hey, how come you're not smoking? Me, I'm an After 3-4 days,
you're back.
You find somebody and you tell them, hey, give me for 2 puffs. And again, you find yourself, you're back.
Yeah.
But I believe in that power. Even as we celebrate Easter, there's a power of the cross. That actually the day I was in Nyeri, had attended a youth camp in Nyeri, that day I said yes to Christ.
Yes.
Do you know that, that yearning for smoking and all that, it left. It actually left me. And that's how I know, this gospel has power to change the lives of people. So, that's how my life changed.
Wow. That's amazing. And like you're saying, like Jesus told the woman at the well, like instead of fetching this water and then you'll drink and thirst again.
Yeah, thirsty again and again. And you keep coming back. He said, I can give you living water.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I got.
That's what you got. And I think I'd just like to tell our viewers, the numbers down below, in case you need someone to pray with you, walk with you, right here, Faith Today TV, we will do that. Of course, Faith Today and Bishop Peter Ndungu is the overseer of Overcoming Faith Church Ministries. So you will get to link up with us. Someone will pray with you, walk with you in case this is something that you're going through, because for sure, like you're saying, addiction is real. People are going through these things today and you don't need to suffer alone. So reach out to us, talk to us, and someone will definitely be there with you. And I'm so encouraged that you're this vulnerable and this open because, of course, now us being young and we're just seeing, and of course, I know in the church we get to interact with children, Sunday school children, teenagers, the youth, people in their 20s, people who are at your age, with the stories that you're giving us right now. So one would think that being a pastor, being a bishop has a sort of perfect life. But there's no perfection in Christianity.
No.
Yeah, there really isn't. So I feel very encouraged. And I'm sure someone will watch this and this will definitely move somebody and encourage somebody. And that's the hope that we have, time for healing and transformation, like you say.
Nobody is, Jesus said it's not the strong, the healthy that need the doctor.
Yes.
We all come to Christ because we need help. And the Bible says all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. So, being a Christian, being a believer, no one should pretend. It's only by the grace
of God.
of God.
For sure.
we all have had our own struggles.
Yes.
And look at even all the people that wrote the Bible. If you think of Apostle like Paul, he was so bad. I was not even there. So people used to run away literally from him.
Yeah.
He was killing believers. He was, abusing people and all that. So, when we share our lives, our testimonies, is to tell somebody where you are.
Yes.
I was there many years ago. Yes. So there's help. If I found help, you can also find help. But we can't sit here and pretend when I was born, I was okay. All my life, childhood, youth, everything. I believe that's why David, prayed and he said, please, do not remember the sins of my youth, because I think there are many, especially navigating through the youthful life. You go through a lot, and there's a lot of temptations to do the wrong thing.
Yes.
You're being enticed. There are people who are calling you. Actually, when being a young people, when we're young and you come to the Lord and you're in church, some young people now ridicule you and they say, well, Mezuba, You know, sasa wewe ni nini? What is wrong with you? Is your mind okay? I mean, that's because they think that's for the old people. Leave that for your mother and your father. You know, you come and enjoy life. But apparently, some of the people who thought ni kuzuba, ni kupoteza, ni nini. You know, today you look at their lives, those who are still alive, you can tell something is amiss somewhere. And some have even died because they didn't give their lives to Christ. So it's not a weakness. To be a believer, for me, I believe it's not a weakness. It's the best thing that can happen to any young person.
Yeah. Beautiful. And as we continue with this conversation, we have people interacting with us. And somebody is asking a question here, which is very, very interesting. Looking back and with this amazing testimony, they say, wow, that is such a testimony, Bishop. Looking back now, in that time when you are, in this period when you're really fighting to stop tobacco and then you're going back and picking them back, what do you think you were really looking for in that moment?
Sometimes you don't even know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
It's maybe what is looking for you.
Wow. That's a good one.
There's peer pressure because, I mean, all the young people are, are smoking.
Yes.
And then, it comes with a kind of some pride.
Yes.
Pride of life where I can, you're holding a cigarette. Yeah. It's like now, you're smoking.
Yes.
And you'd blow the smoke through your nose and
experimenting.
You blow it out sometimes on the side.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So you're thinking, anybody looking at me, they know now I am the, I'm the one.
Mimi ndo kusema.
Yes, sasa nimekomaa. And I can smoke and nobody asks me. I'm of age, especially after 18. I can smoke and nobody really asks me. You're not thinking about the harm or addiction or anything. You're thinking of it's prestigious. And of course, when you see other people smoking, it looks so, it is something to be proud of. Now, if you watch, we didn't have television, but sometimes there'll be a movie in the marketplace.
Yes.
The one, watoto kaeni chini. They bring that, and in the movie you can see some wazungu smoking, even women smoking. And you think, wow, this must be the thing.
Yes.
That it makes you look like, it makes it look like when you have made it, when you have some little money and all that, I mean, that's where you should be.
Yeah.
So even when you start, smoking or drinking, and you're holding a beer in the club, it's like now where umefika.
Yeah.
That's why they even have, I don't know that they still have those tools in the clubs. But inaitwa sina tabu.
I know those tools.
Sina tabu. When you sit on that high stool, and you're there with your beer, now it's like, wewe shida zako zimekwisha. Not knowing your trouble just started.
They're just starting. Wow.
So I think a lot of peer pressure, a lot of conforming to what the society, your friends, everybody is smoking, everybody is drinking, everybody is chasing after women, everybody is doing this. Marijuana is also very prevalent. People don't even know, even in the rural area especially. Marijuana is quite prevalent. So you find a lot of young people getting hooked into marijuana.
Yeah.
So that's prestigious life. For you, it's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Something different from the normal. You don't want to just be normal.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't want to be just normal.
Just normal. They want to stand out.
I believe that's what the Bible says. Don't be drunk with the wine, because people want to be drunk. But what are you drinking?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Wow. But be drunk in the spirit. I think that's how the verse.
That's what the Bible says. Yeah. Be drunk in the spirit. If you just want to be drunk,
be drunk in the spirit.
Don't go for alcohol and wine. Be drunk in the spirit.
Yes, but truthfully, and I know, like you said, you've told us before how you really want to bring impact even to the young people in now Mariaine.
Yeah.
And now with this interaction that you have with them, do you think, or rather, do you ever see yourself in some of these young men that you you're working with currently?
Oh, yeah. I mean, when I look at them growing up in those rural areas and no shoes, smoking, and, every time I call my mother, once in a while, they tell me, oh, you know what, we are coming from a funeral, we buried this person. And some of them are the people we are working with.
Yeah.
I think had it this year. Some of the, young people then, he was slightly older than me. We were working with, and some of the people introduced me now to those, behavior.
Yes.
He died. And then you tell you, oh, we buried this one, we buried this one. I thought, wow, that could have been me.
Yeah.
If I continued in that kind of lifestyle, because they are dying young, in their 40s and 50s, and they are dying because some of them, they got hooked to that kind of lifestyle, and they didn't get out. Some of them fell into the trap of sexual immorality. Some of them, I can count quite a few that have even died from AIDS, HIV/AIDS. I mean, so when I look at them today, I see a future, because if we don't help, we may not help all of them.
Yes.
But if we help a few who would have gone the wrong way and bring them back, and maybe share our testimony and help them. That's why we are starting the youth empowerment programs that we have in different places, and just trying to equip the young people. It is, for me, we may not, even if we help 10 or 20, I think it's a job well done.
Yeah, that's a job well done. Beautiful. And I'm sure probably with your experiences, because I know so many young people, they come to church, but they sort of face judgment. So from your experiences, my assumption is that when you're working with these young people, it's coming from a place of, I understand, and I've been there, so you have potential, and we can hold your hand.
Where else would they be? I mean, they would rather be in church.
Let
them come the way they are. I'd rather somebody is in church, and one time I visited a church in, it's a church, but they have a program which they call recovery through the church. And so it's where people who are struggling, they are hooked to drugs, to alcohol, to sex, to what, and they are not able to come out. They have a program for them to recover, and they had testimonies there. People who should have died, people who would have committed suicide, and now they are there, they are recovering. Some have recovered, they are stable, because some of them lost everything. They lost families, they lost business, because they get hooked into the wrong stuff. So the church is like a hospital. You can't ask somebody, why are you coming to hospital? They come because they need help. So church is actually for people, not, because sometimes we make church look like it's for the perfect. People who have made it, people who know what they are doing. They are smart, wearing a suit. A friend of mine, Bishop Wanderi, told me one time there was a man who came to church, and he came a few Sundays, and he raised a hand one day and he said, I have a question, Bishop. And he said, Nigadimori. It's like, when are you going to take my measurements for a suit?
What?
Because for him, he thought, because now, where people dress for church, he thought when people come to church, after a few weeks, when you become a member, then they take measurements and bring you a few suits. And he was serious. So he thought, here people get suits. Church is not for people wearing suits. Let them come the way they are. Nobody should feel condemned in the church. Either they are struggling with the drugs, they are struggling with any form of addiction, immorality and everything. I mean, the church is where they belong. Just like hospital is for all kinds of sicknesses. The church, anybody dealing with any kind of pain, going through bereavement, going through rejection, even if your family is not doing well, going through divorce, going through painful moments, anything you can mention. I see sometimes people running away from church because they think, I'm condemned. I went through divorce. Maybe my marriage didn't work. Maybe my children are not doing well. Let me first take care of them and then come back to church. Maybe my teenage children are addicted. Maybe I'm this. Maybe I'm struggling drinking. I remember one time there was a man who got converted and he had a problem with smoking. And then we were using a common washroom. And then after I went into the washroom, I realized, this place is so dark and it's smelling smoke. And I wondered, kwani choo inachomeka? Only to realize he went in there to smoke. But you can't chase or judge that person. And the reason he's smoking inside the toilet is because something is telling him he wants to change. So when you see somebody struggling, whether they are smoking in the toilet or they are hiding away or they are, their marriage, their struggles, or the young people, bring them even close, mentor them, help them. I mean, that's where they belong. But when we chase away people because we want the clean, I mean, in closing, Jesus was actually accused because of the sin. Remember in the scripture they said, who is this? He cannot be the Messiah. He's eating with the crooked, the harlots, the prostitutes, the gluttons. These are the people he's hanging around with. If I hang around with those kind of people, and people see me with those kind of people on the street, they will
cancel you.
They will say, now our bishop here, there's a problem. And Jesus was hanging out with those kind of guys. So I think let's hang out with those people and bring them to Christ.
To Christ, that's true. And so, even as we are listening to this powerful testimony, you were telling us of how you decided to quit. But now most young people are usually left with, okay, fine, I have stopped. So what do I do? Because there was time you were spending doing smoking the tobacco and drinking and everything. So now this is somebody going. So for you, maybe you can share with us, what did you fill that space with? What were you doing now to replace this time that you were involved in?
That's a good question, because again, you don't want to be idle. If you find yourself idle, you still go back to the same habit. Make changes. They may be gradual, because they say forming a new habit may take at least 3 weeks. You can't just stop today and say tomorrow I'm okay. So what happens is that you have to also fill that gap, that space with something else. For me, I got fully engaged in church and community building, missions, outreaches, anything that was there I could do. I availed myself. So I had a ministry, I would call it the ministry of presence.
Very good ministry.
I almost went to a women meeting.
Just so you're out there in the community.
For me, just to be there. If women meeting, they need somebody to come and arrange the chairs, I am there. If they need somebody to clean the hall, I am there. I mean, I just thought I want to just be, I don't want to sit in my house. I want to volunteer. And today there are many places. When I travel outside the country, people volunteer a lot. They go to a hospital to volunteer. They go to a children's home. They go to a school. They go to a place just to volunteer. Nyumba ya wazee, all those kind of places, instead of sitting in the house. They go to church to volunteer. We should not be paying people to clean the church and all that. When there are people who are saying, I'm jobless, I'm just seated here in the house, come clean the church. Come arrange the chairs. And from that, you may find, you discovered your purpose.
So this is also you telling us that you didn't give up on yourself.
No. I mean, there's that self-condemnation. And you have to learn to forgive other people, but also to forgive self. Because if you always feeling like, I messed, I did this, I am condemned, look at all the mistakes I did. All of us have made mistakes. All of us, we have our own past. We have our own dark corners. But you know what? You have to rise above that.
That's true.
Like Apostle Paul would say, there's therefore now no condemnation. If there's that condemnation always pushing you down and telling you you're useless, look at this didn't work, you got a baby out of wedlock, you did this, you smoked, you drank, you wasted money, you lost your family. The devil would want you to stay there. But you can rise, and actually ministries are born out of that. People who went through those kind of things, you can turn it, flip it around, and turn it to be your ministry. And encourage other people who are in that space.
That's true. Beautiful. That is such a beautiful testimony. I love it. And I just love the honesty and the sincerity here, because I'm sure somebody there will realize that for sure. I may have made some mistakes, because we all do. We are human. But first of all, forgive yourself, extend some grace. And as you have said, find a community. Find that, because being around people who are like have a goal and have something that they're doing, even if it's that ministry of presence, just be there around people who will walk with you, help you. And with time, you'll belong into this community. They will encourage you. They'll help you rise up. And even in this Easter season, this could be a very good time for you to just reflect on some of the things that you have done, some of the things, like we like saying, let them die with Christ. And be a new person. And like we've said, reach out to us on the numbers below. We'll be here to encourage you, to walk with you. If you need a church, you can always join us here at Overcoming Faith Church Ministries, right here along Thika Road. And before we conclude, Times and Seasons is also part of Bishop's story, which is from his amazing book, Times and Seasons. So if you'd like a copy, the show is just snippets, but if you'd like to get deeper, get a copy, order from the numbers below, and interact with us on our social media platforms, Faith Today TV, and obviously Bishop Peter Ndungu. That was an amazing conversation, and I have been your host, Ciku Mwangi. I'll see you guys next week. Happy Easter, and bye-bye.
Happy Easter.
Ayachezea Yesu kidogo.